Dragon Queen by Marsden.
Chapter 1. Ilana's black scales shone in the early morning light. She smiled at the effect the sun was having on her spiked tail and also her legs, arms and claws. The sun was coming up over the silvery sea. It was always a welcome sight, the start of a new day on her island. In the distance, she could see waves rising and crashing before they could get to shore. There was a breeze that touched her all too human nose, lips and ears. It should have been unpleasant, but it wasn't. There was the smell of salt in the air she found invigorating. Lizards were bothered by the cold, but despite her lizard-like features, Ilana wasn't a reptile. She was a dragon, and regardless of the plume of white coming from her mouth, she wasn't shivering. In fact, she preferred a cool climate. She looked around for anyone or anything to keep her company because it was the loneliness that really got to her, not the near-frozen air. She picked up a stick and drew a rectangle in the sand. A small blackish-grey crab came out of the rolling surf and, with its eyes on stalks, looked up at her. "These are the dragons," she told the creature. "They are on the bottom. That's not a good place to be. They are mutants like me, but I'm special because I'm a female and I'm not supposed to exist." The crab continued to stare, and so Ilana drew another rectangle which she placed above the first one. "These are the knights. They are not much better off than us dragons. If one of them kills 50 of us, he gets to be a maverick. Only one knight I know of ever did that, and he's on Mars." With sideways motion, the crab scuttled off into some nearby bushes. Out of the water, draped in seaweed, came another crab which looked up at Ilana as the first one had done. "Fine," she said. "I'll continue my lecture with you." She drew a smaller rectangle which she put above the second one. "Now we have the mavericks. If these fellows behave themselves, they can have a long, rich and fulfilling life. They can even marry and become fathers. That a knight can't do. If they get up to mischief, then they are downgraded to knight and end up dead. Oh, you ask me if there are mavericks around beside the one on Mars. Yes, there are, and they didn't get to be mavericks by killing anyone. How do they become mavericks then and not knights? Be patient, I'm getting to that." Ilana drew a third rectangle, putting it on top of the third one. "Here we have maidens. They cannot marry knights, but they can marry mavericks. They are female, of course. Oh, I realize you want me to get on with how knights and mavericks come about. Do be patient." The crab went sideways, shrugged off the seaweed and scuttled off to join its mate in the bushes. Ilana drew yet another rectangle which she placed above the one for maidens. A third crab came out of the water and gazed up at her. "To continue," she said. "Now we come to the priestesses. Boys reaching puberty are tested by priestesses. If the boy passes, he automatically becomes a maverick. If he fails, he is a knight. Maiden officers with robots are there to make sure upset boys and parents don't do anything rash." The crab clicked its claws and Ilana smiled down at it. "No interruptions. Now where were we? Oh yes. Priestesses are at the heart and soul of this society I am not allowed to really be part of. They offer spiritual guidance.